Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Arrange Your Own Marriage. In fact, it's actually the last episode of Arrange Your Own Marriage. In this episode, we're going to talk about once you've gone on a couple of dates and you're starting to date somebody seriously, what are the things that are important for you to look at? What are things that you should find out about the other person before you really make the decision of whether you want to spend the rest of your life with them, right? It's really important, first and foremost, to figure out conflict resolution styles. This one is very important because the basis of all relationships is how you manage conflicts or how you manage differences. On an everyday basis, there is action and reaction between couples. So everything really depends on how the other person reacts to what you do and how you react to what the other person does, right? So it's really important to figure out how each of you deals with differences. Would you like to discuss them head on, immediately resolve them? Would you like to sort of shut off, run away, pretend like it doesn't exist? Do both of you have the same conflict resolution styles? This is something that, is worth sort of exploring and learning about the other person. So I'm going to put a link to a video that especially discusses this in a little bit more detail so that you understand how to figure out your prospective partner's conflict resolution style and to figure out whether it matches with yours. The other thing that is super important is for you to meet the person's family and friends to see, what you learn about this person and what is that circle like. Do you find yourself getting along with their family and friends? Because sometimes it is an important aspect. For some people, this is a very important aspect. Like their partners getting along with their own family and friends. So if this is important to you or your partner, this is something you should definitely do. Once you guys have met a few times and you're comfortable, bring up this point of meeting with their family and friends, and you meet each other and figure out if wavelengths match and so on. However, that shouldn't really be a super important criteria, but it's definitely an important criteria. The other thing for you to figure out is what kind of future aspirations do both of you have, and are you able to find alignment in terms of what dreams and aspirations both of you have? Are you respectful of each other's dreams and aspirations, and is there a sort of commitment to help each other achieve your own individual goals? And also, can you build couple goals together? Is there an inclination to build couple goals? For instance, some people want to, let's say, buy a house or build a house, or they want to buy some sort of an asset, or they want to settle in some particular city or country. Is there enough sort of understanding, and is there enough alignment between each other's sort of aspirations that you can make such decisions in the future peacefully? That is something for you to explore. These are serious, important questions that you should be asking each other, after a few dates, if you are really considering this person seriously. The other thing to think about is, more immediate things like, logistics of weddings. Like, for example, what do they feel about having a simple wedding or a grand wedding? And, I think it's really important to align on such things, because sometimes it's a good proxy of how the other person thinks about, just expenses in general, or, how they think about family get-togethers or things like that. Or even it's a very useful way to figure out how independent thinking they are, and whether they're able to make this decision on their own, or do they allow, let's say, their families to dictate their choices completely and so on. So there is a lot that you can find out about each other, spending more time with each other and getting to know each other deeper. One of the most important things is not what they've accomplished or who they are at this point of time. What sort of an inclination or intention do they show in terms of building a future together, and are they on that path already? And what signs of proof have you seen in terms of them wanting to build a future with you together? That is something that is really important to assess. But even after having assessed all of this, let me just say that this is a gamble. it's very hard to say whether you're going to have a successful marriage or not. It all depends on how the two of you come together to build a relationship together. Lots of things can happen. You may not have fully understood each other. You may face challenges or difficulties in your life that you don't expect and you don't really figure out how to overcome, and you might part ways. But remember that this is the best you can do, right? With the available information that you have, you can only take a calculated or an educated sort of risk in terms of who you want to spend the rest of your life with. Anything and everything that you do hereafter only adds on and builds in terms of having a fulfilling and a meaningful relationship thereon. Remember that the partner search is a very, 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 very tiny part of this journey, a very important part nevertheless, but it's a very tiny part of this journey. All the work that you need to do starts after you get married, after you start living with another person, accommodating another person in your life, and figuring out how you grow as a unit together. You will look back to the time that you've spent, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, you will look back at this time and you will remember that this was such a minuscule part of your life compared to what you have ahead of you in terms of building this relationship. So my only advice to all of you is that, do whatever it takes, use whatever resources that are available to be able to maximize the amount of time you can spend with your loved one by minimizing the amount of time you spend on finding that loved one. So whether it being registering on some matrimonial websites, or being on dating apps, or hiring a matchmaker, or hiring a matrimonial assistant, do that if you have the means and resources. Don't spend your time trying to search for the right one. It's just really not worth your time. I would much rather have you focus on having conversations with as many people as possible so you can identify a prospective partner, rather than spending years trying to create and manage your profiles. As you already know, I am a matrimonial assistant myself. So if you think it would be useful for you to have someone else manage your matrimonial profiles on various matrimonial websites, do feel free to reach out. I'm going to leave a link to my service below that you can sign up for. Even otherwise, if you want to have a conversation about your arranged marriage process or get any sort of inputs or just want a sounding board, you know where to find me. I'll leave a link to my website. Good luck. I hope you found this course extremely useful. These videos are going to be up on my website as well as on YouTube. So feel free to go through these videos at your own pace, and hopefully you'll figure out how to find a partner on your own and you won't need me at all. But if you do, I'm here. Good luck and happy spouse hunting as always.